Hi, I'm James Hartigan. Welcome to PokerStars Learn's Glossary of Poker Terms. By the end of this video, you will have heard more than 50 different poker expressions covering everything you need to know about the various poker games available and the types of player you might meet at the table. For more poker tutorials and the best poker content on YouTube, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Right, let's start with player types. Player type. These are categories that can be assigned to players based on their approach to the game. Loose means someone who plays a lot of hands. Tight refers to someone who plays very few hands. Passive means a player who doesn't raise very often and is much more likely to just check or call. Aggressive means a player who bets and raises a lot. A nit is an extremely tight player who plays only the strongest hands. A calling station is a loose and passive player who will call frequently with weak hands. A shark is a very strong player. Fish is a rather insulting name for a weak or inexperienced player who constantly makes errors. This type of player is likely to get eaten by the sharks, metaphorically. A whale is a fish with a lot of money. Position refers to a player's position at the poker table. You can have position on your opponent, meaning you get to act after them. You can be in position if you act after most of the other players, and you can be out of position if you're acting before the majority of your opponents. The dealer, more commonly known as the button, is the last position at the table and the last player to act on most betting streets. Small blind is position 1, to the immediate left of the dealer. They post half a blind before any cards are dealt and are first to act on all betting streets after the flop. Big blind refers to both position 2 at the table, 2 to the left of the dealer, and the minimum bet size. The value of the big blind is often used to measure how many chips each player has. For example, a player with 1,000 chips in a game with a minimum bet of 50 has 20 big blinds. Early position refers to positions 3 and 4 at a full table. They're the first players to act pre-flop. Under the gun is the name given to the very first player to act before the flop as they're in a high-pressure situation. Under the gun +1 is the player to their left. Middle position. Positions 5, 6, and 7 at a full table. Position 7 is also known as the hijack because they can potentially steal late position. Position 6 is also known as the low jack because they have a slightly lower chance of stealing position from the players to act after them. Late position. Positions 8 and 9 at a full table. Position 9 is the dealer. To their right is the cutoff. This player can cut off the dealer's advantage by raising first. Upswing is a period when a player is winning a lot, also known as a heater. Downswing is when a player is losing a lot. Bad beat is when a player with a really strong hand and a high percentage chance of winning gets outdrawn by an opponent with a weaker hand. A suck out occurs when a player wins a pot against the odds, inflicting a bad beat. A cooler involves a strong hand losing to an even stronger hand. Tilt occurs when a player is affected by a series of actions, events, or results at the table and it negatively impacts on their play. There are many different poker variants or types of poker you can play. Texas Hold'em is a poker variant played with 2 hole cards and 5 community cards. It can be fixed limit, pot limit, or no limit. Omaha is played with 4 hole cards. Each player has to combine 2 of their hole cards with 3 of the community cards on the board to form a 5-card poker hand. Other poker variants include 7-card stud, Raz, 5-card draw, deuce to 7 triple draw, Badoogie, and Courchevel. Mixed games combine different variants. 8-game rotates between 8 different versions of the game, while Horse is an acronym for the 5 variants included: Hold'em, Omaha, Raz, 7-card stud, and 8 or better stud. Any poker variant can be played in either a cash game format or a tournament format. Cash game, or just cash, is a game of poker with no fixed start or end where players can come and go as they please, and all the chips have an actual monetary value. Stakes refers to the blind level at a cash table, for example, $1, $2 blinds. It's often described by the maximum buy-in. For example, 200 NL means $200 maximum buy-in, no limit. Rake is the amount of the pot taken by the casino as commission for running a cash game. Tournament is a game of poker where everyone pays the same entry fee and receives the same number of chips. These chips have no direct cash value, they're just used to keep score. Prize money is paid to the player or players who last the longest. Final table refers to the last table in a multi-table tournament. Make a deal. This is when the remaining players agree to redistribute the prizes more evenly than the existing payout structure, also known as a chop. Field refers to the players in a tournament. Ante is a small amount paid by every player before a hand is dealt, usually in the later stages of a tournament. Bust out is when a player is eliminated from a tournament. In the money is the stage of a tournament when all remaining players are guaranteed a cash payout. Bubble. If a tournament is on the bubble, it means the field is one bust out away from being in the money. The next player eliminated is said to have bubbled the tournament. Chip leader is the player with the most chips in a tournament. Big stack is a player at a table who's got a lot of chips and more room to make aggressive moves. The biggest stack is sometimes known as table captain. Short stack is a player with very few chips and little opportunity to play a hand without moving all in. Rebuy. This is a tournament where you can buy another starting stack if you bust out and continue to play in the seat you were originally assigned. Re-entry. A tournament where you can buy back in and get given a new seating assignment. You're effectively treated like a new player who's just entered the game for the first time. A freeze out is a tournament with no rebuys or re-entries. Late registration is the period during which you can still enter a tournament or re-enter after it started. A knockout is a tournament where you collect bounties for eliminating other players. Bounty is a head prize on a player, which is won by whoever eliminates them. Bounties can also be randomly assigned in special tournaments. Deep stack is a tournament where players start with bigger stacks than normal. A satellite is a tournament where the prize is entry to another, bigger tournament. And the winner of any tournament is the player with all the chips at the end. So, now you know a ton of poker lingo ready to use at the tables. Did we miss anything important? Leave a comment below, and if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. And remember to subscribe for more PokerStars videos. I'm James Hartigan. Thanks for watching.